some of the benefits of BluVein compared to just sort of straight battery systems or the like? Why is it? I suppose it's different technology, but why is BluVein beneficial?
Yeah, so we saw, I suppose, in our early investigations, we quickly found out in the underground space players such as Epiroc and Sandvik had already created battery electric vehicles. There was a huge focus on fast charging and battery swapping at the time. We looked at those solutions, and while it was great to see what these organisations were doing and how far progressed, and the foresight that they had. They'd already developed these vehicles before, long before, or started the journey long before we came along. But we were always concerned about battery swapping, understanding what mine operators required. They need robust haul cycles and reliable haul cycles. Being able to swap vehicles, swap batteries on vehicles takes time. May introduce more vehicles into their fleet, which is an additional capex and opex cost. So really we honed in on why do we need such a large battery source on board? How do we eliminate? We're all about eliminating the problem. If the organisations or the mining partners see, as in that battery swapping and the time it takes, and the fast charging and the increase in the overall network to deal with peak demand of fast charging, how do we eliminate those solutions? And essentially, it all boiled down to, well, we've got to deliver power to the vehicle while it's moving. So that's essentially, I suppose, the problem statement that we started off with was, how do we actually deliver this? Stop the inefficiencies associated with swapping batteries, and reducing the costs of not only batteries, because you need, say, 2 to 3 batteries per vehicle as they're charging and as the vehicle is on its cycle. To how do we deliver that charge to the vehicle while it's moving? We quickly found out if we could do that. We not only reduced the additional batteries that are required, we could actually reduce the onboard battery as well. Looking at the costs of battery electric vehicles, the batteries are a huge component of that. Their weight as well. These things are sort of 6 to 8 tons. If we can, cut them by 30 or 40%, that's not only a huge cost saving, it's a weight saving. We could use that space that we've created for our onboard equipment. So there was a lot of benefits there, and it was all about finding the right solution. We knew we didn't want to go open conductor because that had been trialled before and wasn't broadly recognised as the right path either. And that's basically led us to, working with the team in Sweden, the BluVein's team. We really liked their solution. We saw that could be, adopted from more of a commercial solution into a mining solution.
Yeah. And so, like the BluVein, you really have running on sort of your declines or your haul ramps coming up and up and down the pit or the underground. That's right. You wouldn't necessarily have it on levels on your flat sort of hauls. It's really about getting that, where you need the power going up. Yeah,
definitely. It's all about. We still want to utilise the battery on the flats. We don't want to make this a pure dynamic charge everywhere. Everywhere on the cycle. But it's about taking out the biggest load area of the vehicle in the cycle. So that biggest load area is generally up the incline, fully loaded. If we can charge the battery as well as drive the traction motor, it takes a lot of stress off the battery as well. So battery life is extremely important. So with fast charging, that reduces your battery life. Essentially puts a lot of stress on the individual cells once you have cell failure and when you're talking about onboard vehicle batteries, they need such the battery doesn't per se fail. It just degrades to a certain level where it can be repurposed for other means such as storage and the like, but it's not like your car battery where you can run it till it's dead and then just swap it out. So it gets to a point where you've stressed that battery enough that you need to essentially remove it. It might still be able to be repurposed for other means such as storage, but we very much focused on, if we can get, instead of using 3 batteries, on one cycle, if we could use, let's say, a quarter or half of a battery's, cycle, because they only have a set amount of, charge up, charge down times. If we could reduce that, we increase the life. We can sort of start doubling life of battery. Then, that relates directly into halving costs of batteries as well. So, we're very cognizant that the world is changing to very lithium-ion heavy style solutions for transport and e-mobility. The more and more we move to every household having electric car, the less lithium-ion there is out there. So there's only it again is a finite resource, and the rarer it becomes, the more expensive it becomes. So the ability to look after that resource on the vehicle as much as possible. There's a lot of companies out there looking at recycling as well and repurposing. I know the dealings that we've had with Epiroc, they're very much looking at batteries and maintaining that as a service, repurposing, recycling. One advantage of the lithium ion is that it can be recycled extremely efficiently. However, you do need the infrastructure to recycle it. So there's not recycling stations everywhere at the moment, and there's a lot of technology development happening in that space as well. And then it's making sure that the recycling of these batteries is done cleanly and efficiently. There's a lot of ways to recycle that aren't, environmentally friendly, which is counterintuitive to what we're trying to achieve as well.